Good morning, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and share some guidance for this week ahead. That's this week starting Wednesday the 22nd of June through till Tuesday the 28th of June 2022. So welcome. While you're coming over, I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So, how are you going? How's your week been flowing since last week, since we last connected? Our theme last week was shelter, which is about creating or having or going to or being in our safe place, our safe shelter, our safe area where we can be in at this time. So in other words, it's really highlighting that sense of safety and feeling safe, feeling protected, feeling comfortable perhaps as well. So that was our theme last week. So welcome if you're new to watching. What I'm going to be doing is using my Animal Kingdom Oracle cards that have been combined with my Speed of Light Oracle. So I've got 110 cards here, which is loads of fun. And I'm going to use these 110 cards, this deck, to find the best cards for this week ahead. I'm not pulling cards for individuals. This is general guidance for everyone. So I trust you've been led here for a reason. And I trust that something shared will be helpful and supportive for you. So please take on board what feels right, what resonates, and what fits into your life easily at this time. The stuff that seems like I'm talking directly to you and it's just you and me here, that's the stuff that I really encourage you to listen to. Let the other stuff go. So there'll be bits and pieces that don't resonate because they'll be for someone else. But hopefully there are bits and pieces, even if it's just one thing, that you need to hear by being here. So receive that, listen to it, take it on board if you need to. But please think of this as a guide only, and always trust your intuition when it comes to what you do in your life. So let's see what our guidance wants to be for this week. And when I say this week, I mean this reading week, which is from Wednesday till Tuesday. So, shuffling the cards, and I'm holding the intention that I want to find the best cards for this week ahead, starting Wednesday the 22nd of June through till Tuesday the 28th of June 2022. And the best cards for this week for the majority of us are these. So I'm just going to lay them out face down next to me. Okay. And I've had requests that some people want to see more of the cards. I'm not going to be doing the way I did for a little short period. I just had the video on the cards. That doesn't work for me. So that's not happening. But what I can do, if I remember, is I can take a photo of the layout after I've done the live stream and I'll pop it in the comments. So that's what I'm going to try and get into the habit of doing for those of you who like to see the cards and see what I'm talking about in that visual sense. So we've got 8 cards. There are 5 Speed of Light and 3 Animal Kingdom. So let's turn these over. Oh, we've got a good start to the week here. Okay, we've got 1 featured card. Yes, just 1 featured card. We've got the Shaman. And the Shaman has further instructions here, which say to fan out the deck and choose another card. So I'm just going to fan out the deck and go for any card. I'm not going to think about it too much. I've got this one, the Unicorn. The Unicorn's been popping up a bit lately. So we've got 9 cards out now. So let's see what we've got. The first card is card 1. Very inspiring, the Stallion. The Stallion says down here to untie yourself. So you might remember a video I did a few days back. Yeah, several days back about untangling. So there is this feeling here, and it has come up a few times since then, of this untangling feeling or this detachment in some ways. Looking at the things that we maybe feel attached to. It could be an outcome. It could be the way we think the way someone thinks or feels. Could be an attachment to a situation that we're trying to control, or a situation that we want to change. It could be anything. But with these ties, I feel that some of us are looking or being prompted to look at what we're attached to. So what we're attached to and what we feel tied to somehow that is not working for us at this time, or isn't in good flow somehow. So maybe something's not flowing very well, or something's reached a bit of a stalemate, or something's not really happening. So we're being encouraged at this point, at the beginning of this reading week, so on Wednesday, to look at our attachments, or our ties, if you prefer to use the word ties. They're very similar, ties, attachments, to look at those really closely and take the steps we need to detach. So for an example, I've always wanted to, and especially these last couple of years, create an art studio. It's been a massive, big dream of mine, but strangely, and I kind of knew I was going to feel this way, or it was going to happen before we moved, because I went through a bit of a grief period, because I had this sense that, I was going to have to rebuild my art studio again and all this stuff. But the enticement of not having a mortgage was much more enticing than, worrying about any art studio. But the messages that I've been getting since we did the card reading club and our solstice online gathering yesterday, and that feel right for me, is that I've just got to forget about creating an art studio right now. And it doesn't mean that it's not ever going to happen. Just means now is not the right time. And I feel really okay with that. So every time it pops into my head that, well, I should be thinking about this art studio, I just keep telling myself to forget about it. To really, and this is what I'm saying about the attachment, an attachment that I have to the idea, the dream that this is what I want. And I'm not saying I don't want it, but I don't have the finances or the means or the time to do it right this second. So the best thing I can do is say, forget about it. But there's other things to do right now, and I'm okay with that. So, sometimes it's something similar perhaps, or something to do with a dream or a desire or a goal that we have that we're attached to because we want it now. But maybe the finances are a bit tight, or it's not the right time, or there's delays with things, or we've just got to wait something out. So sometimes we need to think about how we can detach from the attachment for our sanity, so that we can go through our life that we're going through now, and then deal with things as the doors open in the future, in a month or 6 months or 12 months or 3 years' time, or whatever it might be. So there is this strong feeling here of attachments, and what can we do, or ties. What can we do to untie ourselves, to detach from our attachments? So I'd be thinking about what do you feel tied to that doesn't feel right? What do you feel attached to that doesn't feel right, or is not working, or is draining you? And then you can look at, okay, how can I untie, or how can I detach from this attachment or this tie? So that's what I'm feeling strongly with the stallion this morning, is this attachment tie energy that a lot of us are looking at. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you connecting have been looking at too, your ties and attachments. So we move now into Thursday, the 23rd of June, and we have these two cards. They've come up together for a reason. So we're going to look at them separately, and then we're going to look at their relationship together. So we have card 17, the shaman, and the shaman's keywords down here say solitude, grounding, mending, privacy, and reassess. So this is about our private time, and making time perhaps on Thursday if we can, or the day or two either side, to find a space of privacy, a space of quiet, to reflect, to heal, to mend, and potentially to reassess our life. So I've talked about this a few weeks ago, but for me, when I'm in reassessment mode of my life, when I'm assessing my journey right now, because I have to do it probably once a month at least to make sure I'm on track with my truth and where I want to be going. And if not, then I can make some adjustments before things get out of hand. So when I'm looking at assessing my life, I'm looking at the past that led me here, the present, how I feel now and how things are going for me now, and the future. Where do I feel like I'm going based on where I am now? And do some adjustments need to be made now so that I can shift my course if something's gone off track, or I've been caught up in some other focus that is taking me off track slightly or a lot. So now is the powerful moment where we can make adjustments to our path if things don't seem like or feel like they're on track for us. We have the power to do that now. We can't do that in the past, not even yesterday. We could do it tomorrow, but the more we put it off, the less likely it's going to be happening. The less likely we're going to do it if we put it off. So really the power is now. And in this private space, this quiet, withdrawn, we might feel a bit withdrawn on Thursday or part of Thursday, so that we can take that time to figure things out. Some of us may need to take that time to heal or to mend, to rest our body, to catch up on sleep if we need to. And I can almost hear people saying, oh, catch up on sleep, that would be nice. So maybe a little bit of a quiet general feeling here to Thursday. But this card's also connected with the unicorn, card 50. And down here, the unicorn says psychic gifts, spiritual, intuition, and trust. So this is quite a spiritual card in my mind. And it's reminding us of our spiritual interests and the things we like to do that nurture us on a spiritual level. So what have you been neglecting lately about your spirituality? Maybe for you, you like going for a walk in nature, and this is a bit like a walking meditation in nature, or sitting in nature and sitting under a tree and meditating or relaxing or connecting or just being. Maybe you haven't done that for a while, if that's something you like to do. Maybe you like pulling your cards out. Maybe you haven't done that for a while. Maybe journaling really supports you when you do it, but maybe you've neglected that lately. So this is really about making time to look at our spiritual connections and our spiritual interests and making time for them. And in fact, it might be something we're reflecting on in our quiet time as well, is our current spiritual state, and is it feeling good? Are we feeling connected spiritually? And whatever that means for us. And if you're not sure, then you could reel it back and figure out what is it that makes you or helps you connect spiritually. Who are you on a spiritual level? Are you leaning towards religion? And if so, that's fine. Are you leaning towards other types of spirituality? Or do you determine this for yourself? Who are you on a spiritual level? And how can you consider reconnecting with that part of you, especially around Thursday? So that's that. Now, Friday, we have, Friday the 24th, we have the Giraffe Card 33. And the giraffe says to look at things differently. So this is a perspective card for Friday. We might find something's blown out of proportion, or we might have a skewed perspective of something or someone or ourselves, or our past or our future as well, or even our present situation. Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? Have a skewed, weird perspective of our past, our present, our future. So what we've been encouraged to consider on Friday is looking at things that we're dealing with, or things in life, maybe everything that we deal with on Friday, from a new perspective. Because this helps us figure out if something's true or right for us or not. If we're just looking at something from one side, one angle, it's a bit sort of two-dimensional, a bit flat. If we can look at situations, and in fact all parts of our life, if possible, if we're inspired to, from all different sides, all different angles, then it helps us figure out what is true, what is right for us, what is aligned with our truth and what isn't, and what changes or adjustments we might need to consider making. So that we are doing and going about things in general in life, our everyday life, as fully and as honestly as possible. So let's be careful, in other words, of taking things at face value or looking at something from one perspective. You know, I remember recently I had a conversation with someone who was distraught because someone did something that, was just, this person couldn't understand, without going too much into details. And I said, well, maybe this person didn't understand what you were trying to say. Maybe it was could have been an innocent thing that wasn't malicious. So why don't you just ask the person about this? And yeah, this person didn't even realize that what was being asked of them. So, I think sometimes we jump to conclusions or we take things too personally. Maybe a non-reply to someone, to something that we've sent out to someone, we might take personally as that person doesn't want to talk to me. They might not have even got their email or the text message, or we may not have got theirs. So I think it's important to be careful on Friday that we don't jump to conclusions or take things too personally just because of one perspective. Let's reach out, let's get more information, let's look at it from other sides and other angles. So that's Giraffe's message. Now, Saturday, the 25th of June, we have the Crocodile, card 5, and it says to stand in your survival power. So this is reminding us that, first of all, we're survivors, and we know this. We know this deep inside because we're here. If we weren't survivors, we just wouldn't be here. So in truth, we know on some level that we're a survivor. But if you're questioning things at the moment, sometimes it's good to reassure ourselves that we are survivors. We've survived before and we're going to survive this situation again because we are survivors. But there is a power in this, and this is a primal power. So it gets down into the primal energies within us, that we have the power, the ability to summon our courage, our strength to get through what we're going through at this time. So this is especially important for those of us who are dealing with survival things. So when I think survival things, I think things that put us in survival mode. So we're looking at health, potentially relationships. We're looking at our shelter, our home, the roof over our head. We're looking at food. We're looking at finances. We're looking at our work, job situation too, because these all things are fundamental in our survival needs. So if these things are questioned at the moment or are unstable, then we may be in that survival mode and we're trying to survive. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to get through these health issues or work out our finances or keep our job or find a new job or keep the roof over our head. These things are very survival based, and they're really important because if we don't have these things, then it's going to be very difficult to survive. So this survival energy is really strong at the moment, and if you can keep reassuring yourself that you're a survivor and work out some real practical, proactive steps to sort these things out for yourself, for your peace of mind, as I'm sure most of us are doing. Okay, so that's Saturday. Sunday. Okay, Sunday we've got these two cards, card 33 and card 35. So let's start with card 35 first. It's support, funnily enough. It says comfort, loved ones, and reassurance. So it looks like the weekend, there is a theme here around potentially needing to reassure ourselves. We might feel a little low or a little bit unconfident or uncertain. Our survival needs may be sort of stirring up over the weekend, especially Saturday, but continuing through to Sunday. So we've been reminded that we are not alone. So this comfort, support energy is coming in, and it would only come in if we needed it. So please reassure yourself that you're not alone, that you have the support that you need. And if you're not feeling the support, then who can you reach out to? What can you do to help support yourself better? And reassurance is really important here. Our loved ones in spirit are coming in really close around us also, and supporting us from their spiritual home, their spiritual vantage point. Also coming up for Sunday's card 33, Gaia. So it says here, spring, nature, message, listen, and life. Life is calling us. Nature is calling us. So if you feel down in the dumps this weekend because you're worrying about your survival, finances, health, relationship, work, roof over your head, how you're going to put food on the table, if all this stuff is worrying you, which is understandable because it's something that you're trying to figure out, if you're feeling unsupported, if you're feeling discomfort because of that lack of support and that reassurance that's not there, if you feel down in the dumps this weekend, probably one of the best antidotes to that, the best help or support for that, according to the cards, is some time in nature. So depending on your situation, your location, what your schedule is for this weekend, making time to spend even a little bit of time in nature, in the garden, going for a little walk, or just looking at the stars, stepping out into the sunshine for a couple of minutes, whatever you can do to connect with nature is probably going to be a really good antidote to this low energy that might want to come in this weekend. Life is calling us, and it feels like it's tapping on the door, like calling us, enticing us, this whisper that's coming from nature. And the nature reminding us of the things that are truly important, and reminding us of the beauty that's all around us, even when things feel difficult or depressing around our survival needs. So nature is calling, life is calling, in other words. Life is calling us, and we're being encouraged to really listen to nature, listen to the subtleties around us, in the wind, in the sun, in the stars, in the trees, in the earth, or wherever you happen to find yourself, that this is calling you. It's like whispering to you about life. And there's more to life than what you feel or what's going on potentially for you too in this survival energy. So potentially a bit of a down weekend. And if we don't probably take the steps or make the effort to reassure ourselves that it's going to be okay, we're going to get through this, that we are supported, we are cared for, we will survive, we are powerful, or whatever you like to, however you like to reassure yourself. If we don't do that, then that down in the dumps energy will probably continue. So it's potentially going to hover this weekend, but we'll see how we go. So then we move to Monday. Monday we have, so that's the 27th. We've got Rosemary here, card 20. And it says here, beauty, self-love, kindness, and balance. This is about reconnecting with ourselves, reconnecting with our heart. Rosemary here in the picture, she's got a downward, like she's got her eyes looking down. This is really suggestive of looking inside. So reconnecting with ourselves, with our heart, because her crown's highlighted here. This is about connections. So it's about reconnecting with ourselves, our heart, our body, and finding this gentleness inside, this self-kindness, so that we can get back into balance again. So we might find that we're a bit introverted, introspective, I think the word is, where we're kind of really in an inner place on Monday. And this is an opportunity for us to reconnect with our heart, our body, ourselves, our truth, and restore ourselves back to balance. Especially if our weekend, maybe for some of us, it might be intensely emotional and mental if we're potentially having a down. So we might find ourselves quite drained from that, and by the time we get to Monday, we just want some quiet reconnection time with ourselves. It may include meditation, it might just be doing something quiet and gentle, you know, a bit of craft, a bit of quietness, a bit of reading, or whatever we sort of have time for. but there is this inner sort of feeling here. And then Tuesday, the 28th of June, we've got change in the air. We've got card 13, scattered. This is not a bad card, actually. It's very interesting because it shows energy moving, which is good. It says overwhelm, confusion, concentrate, and plan. This is an unruly, scattered, uncertain energy that might potentially blow in around Tuesday. And the reason that it feels like it might be good is because after a potentially down in the dumps weekend and a quieter sort of general feel to Monday, it's like the winds pick up and start moving energy on Tuesday. So it might first of all come up and stir up a feeling of scattered, a feeling confused, a feeling overwhelmed. And sometimes it's that sort of build up of that intense emotion or that intense energy that then it's like moves us into this breakdown energy where things just sort of potentially break down or potentially shift somehow. So something might happen that kind of moves things and wakes us up a little bit. But this energy is moving. So it's a really good thing because it's like a hovery feeling on the weekend where we might feel that sort of down in the dumps energy, those words that I'm using, feels a bit like a hovering fog. Whereas by the time we get to Tuesday, the wind's picking up and it's starting to blow the fog out. It may reveal, first of all, what's behind the fog. So that might be where the overwhelm or the scattered energy sort of comes into it. But the wind is good. It is blowing the fog away. So all we need to be able to do is give ourselves that permission and be willing to see the truth, to see what's really going on here so that we can start afresh. So this is raw creative energy, really. It's raw energy yet to take form. This is potentials. These are opportunities. These are potentially ideas if we allow that fog to be blown away and moved away. And this card really recommends or suggests to us that we just do our best to get through our day. So one day at a time, don't overcommit to things. We might find that pretty much most of this week, actually, that we don't want to overcommit. We don't want to overbook ourselves. We don't want to squeeze or cram too much in. Otherwise, we might find ourselves quite overwhelmed. It might be slower for us to do things this week in general than usual. So there are our cards for this week. So very interesting. Let's see how things play out. And then if you're inspired to, come back and connect with this video as we're going through the week so that you can get those little tips of suggestions to help you keep balanced throughout this interesting week. So that's that. I'm going to pull a theme card in a minute. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you would love to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. So I'm very happy to say, and thank you so much to those who have booked to our 12-hour healing event, that it is going ahead. So that means on the 7th of the 7th, which I think is a Thursday, but I'm not really sure right now. I'm sort of in today and I can't see my calendar. On the 7th of the 7th, we'll be working through our next 12-hour healing event. So I call these a healing marathon, and we can go really deep. Our theme is around restoration. So if you're inspired to join me for that on the day or later, then please have a look on my website to register. If you want to learn more about me and the work I do here at Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. Your support is essential in helping me be able to keep doing my work full time and keep bringing these sorts of videos out to you. So please have a look on my website and consider supporting my work so I can continue to do it. Thank you so much. Okay, let's look for the best theme card. The theme card will help bring these days, this whole week together and help us see the bigger picture for this week ahead. So I'm looking for the best card for the theme for the majority of us for this week, the 22nd till the 28th of June 2022. And the best theme card is this. And it's the Buffalo Woman. This is interesting, card 4. And it says talents, gifts, skills, and recognition. So this brings a crafty, hobby, arty, creative element to this week. So some of us may find that we're reviving something creative that we haven't done for a while, but we've been thinking about. So taking the steps, making the time to do these things. Some of us may be looking at advancing our skills at work. And if you have got questions around your survival, around your work or your income, then this may also be connected or tied in there. So how can you advance your training or your skills? What can you teach yourself? How can you keep practicing to advance your skills, your creativity, or what do you like to do? So what do you like to do is what I'd like to ask you. And when was the last time you did that? Hopefully this week you will find some time to do that you enjoy doing and reconnecting with the things that you like to do in your life for you. You're not doing them for anyone else. This is what hobbies are. You're doing this for you, to advance yourself, to challenge yourself, to push yourself, to see what you're capable of. So can you do something like that this week to really push yourself out of your comfort zone and to get the energy really moving? Because that's what it does when we push and challenge and confront ourselves to step outside the box. So, yeah, what box are you in? Which we can look back at the very first card around attachments. What box are you in? Where do you feel that you're trapped, that you're attached, that you're tied? And how can you, and maybe this is going to be what a lot of us are doing this week, is breaking down those attachments, detaching, untying, breaking down that box, and really pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone. And it is unsettling to do that. It's not comfortable at all. So can you embrace that energy? Can you embrace that discomfort to challenge yourself and see what you can create, what you're capable of doing this week, but in the weeks and months and years to come? So, yeah, I feel the big message here is about our capabilities. Don't underestimate what you're capable of. And if you're faced with a situation that is different or daunting, then what can you do to step up and recognize that you are capable of moving through this? You are capable of doing this. You are capable of achieving this. So what steps do you need to take to do that? And that's also connected with that perspective shift. So Buffalo Woman is our theme, talking about talents, gifts, skills, hobbies, taking ourselves to the next level in regards to the skills that we have and what we're actually capable of doing and creating with our life. So thanks for watching. Have a great week ahead. Happy birthday, happy anniversary if you're celebrating, and take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.